Does God really exist? If God was there, why there is so much of trouble? Why there is so much of problems? Why there is so much of mishaps? Why there is so much of pain? I don't see God around. Can you show me God? If I only see God, only then I will believe that He is existing. How many things that you can see, how many things that you cannot see and believe? Can we see air? We can feel the air. Can we see what is there beyond the wall? We cannot see directly. Can we see what is there underwater? Can we see who is the president or prime minister of the head of the state or of Australia? Have we seen them directly, personally? No. Maybe we have read about them on the newspaper, or maybe we have seen them on television or somewhere, or somebody have met them. Someone has actually interacted with them. So we take the words of someone who has interacted with them. We take the words of someone who has dived deep into the ocean and seen what is there inside the water. We have come across people who have seen those realities which we have not seen, but then we believe them. We actually understand that okay, something of that type exists, even though I have not seen that, but these people are saying so, that must be existing. So same thing goes here. If I say everything I want to see, so there are many things that I cannot see. If my eyesight goes bad, I cannot even see the letters. I need a specs, right? Or I need microscope, or I need some kind of things to see that I cannot see. I need microscope to see the microbes. That doesn't mean that microbes don't exist. Before the microscope existed, did the microbes exist? We were not able to see them, but somebody believed that microbes existed and we need to see what is their activity, so microscope came into picture, right? So if we want to see, we can see everywhere. If we want to see God, if we want to see hands of God, we can see everywhere. So that's why we have to know that to see we need to have the eyes. To see we need to have the ears. To see we need to have knowledge, and we acquire knowledge through the eyes and through the ears and through our experience. So far only we have been argumenting from the perspective of our eyes. Seeing is believing. If you see something and then you believe it, and it may turn to be something totally wrong. For example, one mother and a son, they were inside a shop. One person is coming out, is walking on the street. He happens to overhear the son saying, "I want to eat the tiger," and the mother is saying, "No, why don't you eat the elephant?" So they are inside the shop, and this man is outside the shop, and he is overhearing that mother and son are talking like eating to tiger and elephant. He calls the police. So the police comes, and then they all get into the shop. And when they get into the shop, and then they see that they are arguing on eating a sugar candy tiger or a sugar candy elephant. So did he hear wrong? No, his perspective was wrong, right? So we may hear something, we may see something, even if God comes in front of us, we may reject him. For example, Duryodhana, Krishna was right in front of him. He said Krishna doesn't exist, or he said God doesn't exist. He doesn't want to believe. He didn't want to believe. So if I don't want to believe, even God cannot make us believe. But if I want to see, I can see God everywhere. For that, we need knowledge. And that knowledge comes from the person who has practiced it. The knowledge comes from the people who have seen the truth, the people who have seen the truth, the people who have practiced it. And when the knowledge comes from them, and then we can accept it, we can appreciate that, then we can slowly understand the things that are not able to be seen through our bare eyes. So if you say God does not exist, I'll give another example, that if I have to make, let's say, a paper rose, I need paper, I need scissor, I need maybe adhesive gum, some color papers and something like that. So I cut them and then I make a paper rose. So if someone asks that who made this rose, so there has to be somebody who has made it, right? So why don't we get that question when we see actual rose coming in the garden? Who made this rose? The paper rose does not have fragrance. The paper rose does not have soft petals. It has paper like petals. It does not look as beautiful as a original rose. When you look at the original rose, it has soft petals, it has beautiful fragrance, it has three-dimensional object, right? Looks very, very beautiful and attractive. So we can think that such a complicated design, can it come without a designer? Can something exist without a creator? We can ask these questions before we conclude that God does not exist. So to convince someone who absolutely does not want to believe that God existed, so we can decipher through these means that, is there a creator, is there a lawmaker, is there someone who created this whole thing, such a complicated thing, out of nowhere, for no reason. If there is a complicated design, there has to be a designer. Without having a designer, no perfect design can come into place, right? So definitely we can see that God does exist. It is only our misunderstanding that makes us believe that God does not exist, or the people whom we associate with, they cloud our minds, they cloud our intelligence, they put a lot of doubts in our minds and give several unauthentic reasons why God should not exist. Every reason anyone has can be answered. If you have any specific reasons you feel that why God existing, or why should God exist, or does God really exist, and I am having so and so questions, please put your questions in the comments. I am ready to answer each one of them. Thank you very much.